Candid Conversations series. I'm Chandra Luckett, Chief Marketing Officer, and happy Mental Health Awareness Month. Today we are talking about celebrating 10 years of school-based services here at Chris 180. And one of the places it started in the 2013-2014 school year is right behind me at Peachcrest Elementary School in the DeKalb County School District. And what started as a small idea has now turned into a major deal here in Metro Atlanta, where Chris 180 provides services to more than 80 schools, including right here at Peachcrest Elementary. In today's conversation, we will take a look at how we got started 10 years ago and where we're going when it comes to school-based mental health and how we help children, their families, and faculty and staff.
Hi, I'm Kathy Colbenson, President and CEO of Chris 180, and we're here today to talk about the origins and the evolution of our school-based mental health program. And we have with us...
Hi, I'm Brittney Walters, the Vice President of our School-Based Mental Health Division here at Chris 180. And I'm excited to talk a little bit and learn even more about our history of school-based mental health services at Chris 180. And I'm eager to start off with the burning question, Kathy. What gave you this idea to embark into schools 10 years ago? Because that's what we're here to celebrate today.
Well, as you know, I'm a therapist, and I have always believed that the best place to catch kids early if they were struggling was in school, because every child has to go to school. So ideal would be to have a therapist in every school in the United States, because that would help us be able to spot the child who's withdrawn, who's not acting out, because the kids who get the most attentions are the ones who are fidgety, or they act out in class, or they have some other issue. So I think that one of the things, the vision, was that we could provide training to teachers and the school professionals and help them understand how to spot kids, whether they were acting out or not, who could benefit from services.
That makes so much sense, because a lot of time in our field, or prior to us breaking down these walls from our brick and mortar buildings, if you will, you're right. We would see the kids that were displaying really big behaviors, or they would come in with a laundry list of challenges. And sometimes it felt like when we're in a building, we might be intervening too late. But breaking down the barriers and going to where the kids are has helped us really identify those early warning signs, which I think is incredible. So 10 years ago, in 2013, here we are, we're rolling along at Chris 180, providing services to the entire community. And you just have this idea to ask a foundation to pilot something like this? How did this thought come about?
That's where charitable funding really is important, because we identified a funder, and I'll say we talked to, it was Chris Carlos. I'm going to give Chris a lot of credit for this, and talked to him about it and said, can we pilot this? This is what we believe would really make a difference. And the Chris and Thalia Carlos Foundation made that investment that allowed us to start the school-based mental health services in 2 schools, and we were thrilled. So, our experience showed that we were right about the need and about the importance. We knew the training for the school professionals and the teachers was important, but it's even more important than we thought. And so it gave us the opportunity to pilot the approach and to figure out over time, in which you've done in the leadership of the school-based mental health program, is to figure out what are the additional things that we can make improvements on as we are in the schools and are working with the kids. So
I'm so glad that you said that, because when I think about my time in school-based mental health, which has only been a fraction of the time that we've been providing this incredible service, our model changes year over year, and we continue to see different needs, especially post-pandemic, that arise, and kids are evolving and kids are ever changing. And so our model has shifted significantly over the past 10 years. So to start off 10 years ago in 1 to 2 schools and fast forward to 2023, we served 81
I
schools
think that's
in
fantastic.
the metro area in 4 different counties. And um, like I said, our model really, really sets us apart. And I think it's because of the foundation that you laid so many years ago about, sure, we want to treat the kiddos and the individuals and the families that we're working with directly, but also the entire school as our client. We want to teach Miss Smith how to practice trauma-informed principles, routines, and rituals so that all 24 kids in her classroom can benefit versus just maybe the identified 2 or 3 that need some individualized support. So our model has definitely evolved.
Now, I think that's the beauty of it. There is, the environment evolves, people evolve, things happen in the world. And so while child development and while treating trauma have a consistent foundation, the approaches that we use and the ways in which we work with people needs to evolve as people evolve. And I think I'm really excited because we have peace corners now in the schools. We didn't have those when we started. And we have teacher support groups in some schools. We have a really fluid relationship. We're using our wraparound services to work with families now, and we didn't do that in the beginning. So there's a whole host of things that we've learned that can make a huge difference. And so I think I think it's really critical to be receptive to the environment and to the emerging needs and to get ahead of it if we can.
One of the things that has really shifted a lot of evolution is this little thing called a pandemic. We all went through it for how many years now? It's been like 4. And we have learned so much about, like you said, child development, our community, really what the needs are in the past several years. So tell me, when the pandemic first started to hit, what was your first thought about what will school-based mental health be? We all went to homeschool learning. We had never done that before. What are some of the thoughts that went through your head initially?
Well, oh my God, how are we going to keep providing this service? And I have to say, the C in Chris stands for creativity. And our therapists and volunteers came in and made play therapy kits that they could deliver to the families and the kids at home. We were able to get laptops, Chromebooks.
I remember.
Yeah, Chromebooks, and we were able to do a lot of things that augmented what was able to be provided by the schools. We also, I think, really pivoted to regarding the food as well, so that we helped the City of Atlanta and the other school systems with distribution. We paid attention to the whole family, because if the food is only for the child in school and not for anyone else in the family, that can create resentments and issues. So we thought about all of those things, and I'm really proud of how we continued to provide the needed counseling and services, and in ways that recognize the trauma of the whole family.
I think you bring up a really good point that's cohesive of our mentality here at Chris 180, is that no matter what door the identified client or the identified child comes through, sure, we're going to assess that situation and what that person needs, but we really pull the viewfinder back to look at the systemic or environmental situations, traumas, challenges that might be impacting the entire system. And we do that at school. To Kathy's point, one of the best things I think about working here is that we have created such an array of services that really range the entire lifespan. So whether it's uncle who is temporarily living with the family and seeking a job, we can help that person get connected with supported employment. Or if it's grandma who's just retiring and needs help accessing benefits, or food insecurity, like you said, little Johnny in 3rd grade might have been our entryway to services because he was falling asleep in class. But our ability to really be in the community helps us look at the entire unit more holistically. Does that track for you? I mean, what do you
Yes,
think
I
about
mean,
that?
healthy kids require healthy adults, healthy families, and healthy communities, and healthy schools. We all thrive when our needs are met. And our needs aren't isolated into one category or another. And so we're really benefiting children and helping them be able to learn and helping them be able to focus in class. So I think that it's recognizing all of that helps with the targeted goal of staying in school, staying in class, and learning.
I couldn't agree more. And what excites me is to really reflect. I've been with School Based now, it'll be 4 years in July, which is unbelievable. And I think about how much our model has shifted and evolved just in 4 years. And as I reflect on the fact we were in one school 10 years ago and we're in 81 today and growing this summer.
That's right.
Where do you think School Based is going? Do you think that there are any untapped needs that in the future we might need to prepare for?
Well, I think, so the answer is yes. There are always untapped
Right.
needs. Georgia is 48th in access to care. And while we're in 81 schools, and thank goodness the state is investing in APEX funding so that other providers can also be in schools, it's a fraction of the schools in Georgia. And we're seeing suicide rates and suicidal ideation increase. We're seeing a lot of fallout happening that impacts our children, and I think it is critically important. A lot of people have the misconception that the school psychologist provides therapy. They don't, or that the school social worker is the therapist, and they're not. So having therapists available to students in school, and ideally in every school, in Georgia, would be a real important way to have, over the years, to develop a healthier community.
I love that vision, and I think you're right on target when you say the need has never been greater. And I'm privileged to just continue working at Chris 180, where I love what you said. We really stretch that C for creativity. We have managed to be able to serve schools as far south as the airport and as far north as almost to University of Georgia. And so our sprawl and our reach has only expanded. And I think the future is bright for school-based mental health, especially as we bring more awareness to the need of our community.
And I think one thing you didn't mention that I'd like for you to touch on is our trauma training in the schools, because I think that sets Chris 180 apart from other school-based programs, because we're very intentional about providing that training. So can you mention that a minute?
Absolutely. One of the things that we've really prioritized over the past several years, to Kathy's point, is treating the entire school community as our client. And while we have identified kiddos that need some extra support, we want to positively benefit the entire classroom. So the idea is, if we can teach teachers, if you will, to better structure their classroom, better manage their emotions, better regulate and attune to their students, that it'll create a happier environment overall. So over the past several years, we've built what we call our library of off-the-shelf trainings, and many of the ideas have actually come directly from educators. Every year we meet with our schools and we say, what do you need? You know, here is a menu of, let's say, 75 off-the-shelf trainings for educators. We can make them as short as 30 minutes if teachers can get us on their docket, as long as 8 hours if it's a full professional development day. So they're all really catered to the unique needs of the school community. And sometimes they'll say, you know, Brittney, these options are great, burnout or self-care or attunement, regulation in the classroom. But what we really need at this school is XYZ. And I'll say, well, give me a couple of weeks, we'll develop that, and then we can implement it. So it's a really unique way to meet the needs of our unique communities that we serve.
Yeah, and the important thing about understanding a trauma-informed approach is that there are no bad kids. There are no bad people. There's things that happen to people in their lives that manifest themselves in terms of behavior, which we might label as bad, but the people aren't, the children aren't. And we ask the question, what happened to you? or what is happening in your life. And that's the starting point. And I think that is really important, because whether you're a teacher, a school professional, administrator, or you're a student, that's an important question, to understand that we only see a little bit about what's happening in someone's life. And we may not know that grandma is really sick and dying and has been the stability of the family. We might not know those things that are contributing to behaviors that we see. And so it's really important to ask that question. What happened to you? What's going on in your life? And that enables learning.
The importance of a paradigm shift. I think you're
Yes.
right on target. And I just want to thank you for having this idea 10 years ago. And gosh, our model continues to evolve and grow. Our reach continues to expand across Atlanta. And I'm just really excited for what 2024 holds as we go into Mental Health Month and celebrate access and really try to work our hardest to continue our mission of healing children, strengthening families, and building community.
Thank you, Brittney.
Thanks so much, Kathy.
Thank you, Kathy and Brittney, for a really excellent and powerful conversation about coming together to provide help for not only children, but the entire community. It's amazing to see what one seed of an idea can grow to and how it can impact thousands of children in just 10 short years. But if you want to know more about our school-based services at Chris 180, all you have to do is head to our new and improved website at chris180.org. And we want to give a big thank you to our current school partners, all 81 schools, and especially our friends in Fulton County, Atlanta Public Schools, DeKalb County Schools, and Clayton County Schools. Thank you for working with us to make sure that children all over Metro Atlanta have the trauma-informed care they need. We'll see you back here next time.